You can tell a man's age by how he wears an Oxford shirt. Not by the wrinkles on his face, but by the choices he makes around that one simple piece. After 50, the Oxford can make you look quietly powerful or quietly forgotten. Most men your age own one. Very few know how to use it well. Today, we fix that. Stay with me until the end, and you'll know exactly what to wear with an Oxford shirt after 50. You'll see how to look sharp without trying too hard, how to dress for real life, and how to make this one shirt work in almost every situation. No fashion experiments. No chasing trends. Just simple, reliable pairings that always look put together on a man over 50. The Oxford, your grown man shirt. Let's start with what an Oxford shirt really is for a man over 50. It's not just a button-down. It's your grown man shirt. Thicker than a dress shirt, softer than a stiff business shirt, and more refined than a polo. It's the piece that lets you look like you care, without looking like you tried. That balances everything after 50. The Oxford works because it has structure, but not stiffness. It sits well on a body that's changed with time. It doesn't cling, it doesn't shine, and it doesn't scream for attention. It just makes you look solid, reliable, and put together. That's exactly what you want your clothes to say at this stage of life. Fit matters more than anything. If the shoulders are right and the collar sits clean on your neck, you're already ahead of most men. The Oxford should skim your body, not hug it. When you sit, you don't want buttons pulling. When you move, you want ease, not extra fabric floating around. Color is your next power move. White, light blue, and pale gray are your foundation. Then add maybe one soft stripe or muted check if you like variety. Loud patterns and wild colors look like you're trying to prove something. A man over 50 doesn't need to prove. He just needs to look like he's in control. Oxfords and jeans, casual done right. Let's start with the easiest pairing, the Oxford shirt with jeans. Most men over 50 get this wrong, not because of the shirt, but because of everything around it. You're not a teenager, and you're not a retiree in weekend-only mode. You're a grown man who wants casual, but still sharp. The Oxford with the right jeans does exactly that. Choose jeans that are dark or medium blue, with a clean, simple look. No rips, no heavy fading, no strange stitching. Straight or slightly tapered fits are your best friends. They balance the structure of the Oxford and keep your lines clean from shoulder to shoe. You look modern, but not like you're chasing youth. Now, think about how you wear the shirt itself. For casual, you can wear your Oxford untucked, but only if the length is right. It should hit around mid-fly, not halfway down your thighs. If the shirt is long, tuck it in. A clean tuck with a good belt always looks more intentional than a long shirt hanging over your jeans. Finish the look with simple, grown man shoes. Leather sneakers, clean and minimal, work beautifully with an Oxford and jeans. So do desert boots or loafers. The key is this: the shirt is doing the quiet work of making you look put together. Everything else should support that, not fight it. When in doubt, keep it simple and let the Oxford lead. Oxfords and chinos, smart without the suit. The Oxford with chinos is where you start to look truly refined without going formal. This is your go-to pairing for dinners, family gatherings, casual meetings, and travel. It's the uniform of a man who has his life in order. Not flashy, not stiff, just quietly sharp. Start with the shirt. A white or light blue Oxford paired with tan, navy, or olive chinos is almost impossible to get wrong. The texture of the Oxford and the matte finish of the chinos work together. They give you a polished look without the shine or stiffness of a full dress shirt and suit. You look approachable, but still in control. Tuck the Oxford in when you wear it with chinos. This instantly lifts the outfit from casual to smart casual. Add a simple leather belt that matches your shoes. You don't need a tie. You don't need a blazer if you don't want one. the structure of the shirt already gives you presence. If you want to step it up slightly, roll your sleeves with intention. A clean, even roll to just below the elbow shows forearm and adds a masculine edge. It also breaks up the shirt and keeps you from looking too formal. You look like a man who can relax, but still respects himself and the occasion. Oxfords with dress pants, effortless business. Now let's talk about the Oxford with dress pants. This is where many men over 50 either overdo it or underdo it. They either wear a full suit when it's not needed, or they show up too casual. The Oxford gives you a middle ground that feels powerful, but not stiff. Pair a crisp Oxford with well-fitted wool or wool blend trousers. Charcoal, navy, or mid-gray pants are your best options. They frame the shirt and make it look intentional, not accidental. The subtle texture of the Oxford keeps the outfit from feeling like a full business uniform, but you still look serious. Here, the shirt should always be tucked in. Pay attention to your collar. If you're not wearing a tie, make sure the collar stands properly and doesn't collapse. Unbutton one button at the top, two at most. More than that, and you move from confident to careless very quickly. Shoes matter even more in this pairing. A clean Oxford shoe, derby, or monk strap in brown or black leather will complete the look. Again, the shirt is the center of the outfit. Everything else, the pants, the belt, the shoes, should make that Oxford look like it belongs in the room. You look like a man who still plays at a high level, without shouting about it. Layering your Oxford jacket's done like a man. The Oxford shirt becomes even more powerful when you start layering it. This is where you can look incredibly put together with very little effort. The key is to let the shirt stay visible and clean. You're building around it, not hiding it. A simple, unstructured blazer over an Oxford is one of the best looks a man over 50 can wear. Navy, dark gray, or brown works with almost any Oxford color. The collar frames your face, the blazer frames your torso, and together they create a strong, masculine shape. You can wear this with jeans, chinos, or dress pants, depending on the occasion. The shirt is the constant. For more relaxed days, try a lightweight bomber, field jacket, or suede jacket over your Oxford. Keep the jacket simple, with minimal zippers and details. You want the clean lines of the shirt to balance the more casual jacket. This mix of polished and relaxed is exactly what makes you look modern, not dated. In cooler weather, a fine-gauge crew neck or V-neck sweater over your Oxford works perfectly. Let the collar and a bit of the shirt show at the neck and cuffs. Avoid bulky, heavy knits that swallow the shirt. You want to see that you're wearing an Oxford, not just some shirt under a sweater. That visible structure is what makes you look intentional. Sleeves, collars, and buttons, the small details. The difference between looking average and looking sharp in an Oxford often comes down to small moves. How you roll your sleeves. How many buttons you leave open. What you do with the collar. These details are quiet, but they speak loudly. When you roll your sleeves, don't just push them up. Do a clean, even roll, 2 or 3 turns. Stop just below the elbow. It looks deliberate, not sloppy. And on a man over 50, a strong forearm with a clean Oxford sleeve above it sends a clear message, relaxed, but in control. Buttons matter more than you think. With no tie, never button all the way up. 1 button open is business relaxed. 2 buttons open is casual, but still sharp. More than that, and you start drifting into trying too hard territory, especially if you wear a necklace or show too much chest. Let the shirt suggest confidence, not demand attention. Pay attention to your collar. If it's a button-down collar, use the buttons. A floppy, unbuttoned collar on an Oxford makes you look tired. If it's a non-button-down collar, make sure it sits cleanly and doesn't curl. A good collar frames your face. At your age, that framing is more important than any logo or brand name. Colors and patterns, quiet power moves. The colors and patterns you choose for your Oxfords will decide whether you look timeless or just there. At 20, you can get away with noise. At 50, subtlety is your advantage. You want people to notice how well you're put together, not your shirt screaming across the room. Start with solid colors. White, light blue, and pale gray are your core. These shades work with jeans, chinos, and dress pants. They work with navy, gray, tan, olive, and brown. They make pairing automatic, which means you get dressed faster and better. Once you have your solids, bring in gentle patterns. A soft blue and white stripe, a fine check, or a subtle grid can add interest without stealing the show. Avoid bold contrast, giant checks, and loud colors. Those patterns age you in the wrong way. They look like you're holding on to an old version of yourself. You want to look current, not nostalgic. Also think about your skin tone and hair. If your hair is gray or white, light blue and soft gray Oxfords will look especially good. If you still have darker hair, white and pale blue will give you strong contrast. The goal is simple. When someone looks at you, their eyes go to your face first, not your shirt. The Oxford should support your presence, not compete with it. How many Oxfords you really need? You don't need a closet full of shirts to look sharp after 50. You need a small rotation of Oxfords that all work with the rest of your wardrobe. Quality over quantity is not just a saying at your age, it's a strategy. It saves you time, money, and mental energy. Aim for a tight core. For most men, 3 to 6 Oxfords is more than enough. For example, 2 white, 2 light blue, 1 pale gray, and 1 subtle stripe. With just that, you can dress for almost anything: casual weekends, dinners out, travel days, and business settings. And every pairing we talked about still works. Focus on fabric and construction. A good Oxford should feel substantial, but not heavy. It should soften over time, not fall apart. Stitching should be clean, buttoned secure, and the collar should hold its shape. A well-made Oxford actually looks better as it ages with you. Cheap ones look tired fast. Rotate your shirts. Don't wear the same Oxford 2 days in a row. Let them rest, air out, and keep their shape. Take care of them, wash gently, hang them properly, iron or steam when needed. A man over 50 doesn't need flashy clothes. He needs clean, well-kept pieces that show he respects himself and his life. The Oxford shirt is not just another item in your closet. It's the backbone of a sharp, modern wardrobe for a man over 50. With jeans, it makes you look casually in control. With chinos, it makes you look smart without the stiffness. With dress pants and a jacket, it makes you look like a man who still plays at a high level. If you've ever stood in front of your closet feeling invisible, start here. Dial in your Oxfords.